Philippines nagbabalik. Reaction, 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 reaction. Napakaganda po ng pag-uusapan natin yung mga reaction ha. Natagpuan na po kung nasaan si First Lady Lisa Araneta. Natagpuan na po, ito po, natagpuan na ayan di ba? Ayan siya kumakain sila ayan Natagpuan na po si Lisa Araneta di ba? Ang ganda po ng pagkaka-photoshop pagkaka-photoshop ba to? Lahat po ng kanyang mga kasama sa picture na yan ay may mga sandalan. Siya po walang sandalan, no? Papayag ka ba walang sandalan yung upuan mo? Ikaw yung sa center of the table. Pakinggan po natin ang ating magpapaliwanag dito. Ayan po, pakinggan po natin
Kaya lang ako ba, kailangan ko i-voice out para makatulog ako. Kasi kanina ko pa talaga to iniisip, hindi pa ako nakakain. Nagkakalat kasi ang picture na ito na fake daw ito at saka edited. Hindi ako political vlogger. Ayoko din mga alam. At mas lalong hindi ko masabi kung fake ito or hindi. Dahil hindi ako marunong talaga magtingin kung fake ba or hindi ang picture. Kaya hindi man ako magaling mag-edit. Pero hindi ako makatulog kakaisip. Ba di ba ng picture, lahat sila pare-pareho upuan na mataas ang sandigan sa likod. Di ba? May sandigan ang mga upuan na sa likod. Hindi ako makatulog kay Ma'am Lisa lagi. Kahit anong angle ng camera, makita talaga ang sandigan sa likod ni Ma'am Lisa, di ba? Ni Ma'am First Lady. Wala lagi sa sandigan ay. Ano lang ang pungkuan? Lagi pungkuan niya man? Wala siya, no? Di ba mataas ang sandigan sa likod? So lahat talaga, kahit anong angle ng camera, makita mo talaga na may sandigan sa likod. Tapos si Ma'am Alice Eduardo, idol ko yan siya. Inspiration ko na siya. Pero Ma'am, maubos mo ng isa ka cake, ma'am. Hindi ka ba diabetes sinama? No? Gaya po si Ma'am First Lady ay. So, yun lang. Para makatulog ko nang wala lang, wala lang. Bye.
Diba? Diba?
Michael,
Tama naman si Ma'am. Si Ma'am Sir. Sir Ma'am Sir. Tama naman po yung sinasabi ninyo. Bakit walang sandalan ng upuan ni Lisa Araneta? Diba? Ngayon, kung halimbawa, totoo yung ugong-ugong na may nagsasabi na nakakulong, nakadetain o wala sa Pilipinas si Lisa Araneta at marami pong nagkakalat ng mga pictures, mga video at alam po ba ninyo, merong nag-email sa akin Merong nag-email sa akin patungkol dun sa Go Negosyo. Hindi ko po alam, hindi po verified, ayaw pong ipasabi yung pangalan niya, pero yung Go Negosyo daw po, bigla na lang lumitaw dun si FL Lisa Araneta. Pero sa totoo lang daw po, ay wala po siya doon. Ito tingnan po ninyo mga ka-reaction. Para naman ma-share ko sa inyo yung picture, ipinadala po dito, ito po para naman ma-share ko sa inyo yung picture. Alright, para ma-share ko po sa inyo. Ayaw pong magpasabi ng pangalan yung nag-send sa akin sa email. Ayan Sandali lang ipapakita ko po sa inyo para wala pong magsasabi na tayo po ay fake news. By the way, sige, fake news na ako. Diba, disclaimer lang po, fake news ako, diba? Reaction video nga to tapos magiging fake news. Paano nangyari yun, diba? Hindi tayo pwedeng maging fake news hindi naman tayo news Reaction tayo, opinion tayo, hindi tayo impormasyon ng kung saan lang nanggagaling, di ba? Ito po mga ka-reaction, Ayan po. Hello, I am one of your subscriber, but a solid PRRD followers, supporters. I come from Mindanao as well, Davao and North Cotabato. I am registered a subscriber of Go Negosyo and receive email news from time to time from them. Please check and screenshot from my email if it is verified, because previous email sent to me, her presence and name on the photo was not included. And today it's mind blogging why Go Negosyo sent an email to their subscriber now with the photo and name of the Wolfrag. All the best to you and your channel. Thank you very much for your reaction and for being solid supporter of our best tatay PRRD. Prayers for Philippines. Be blessed. Ayan po. Isa daw po siyang subscriber o ng Go Negosyo na nung una wala naman dyan si bullfrog. Bullfrog po ang tawag niya, oh. Nakasold yan, bullfrog. At bigla na lang daw po lumitaw sa kanyang recent another email. So, hindi po natin alam, hindi natin alam. Sabi niya, please verified. So, yung unang email daw po sa kanila ay wala po si Lisa Araneta sa Go Negosyo. Tapos, nag-email na naman daw, nandun na si Lisa. Nakasuot na siya ng 2025, di ba? Doon mga ka-reaction, nasan man si Lisa? Mag-live ka na, madam. Lisa, mag-live ka na para matahimik na yung mga tinatawag na mga bashers mo. Di ba? Kung nakakulong ka, hindi ka makakapag-live. Ngayon, kung hindi ka nakakulong, mag-live ka. Dahil importante sa sambayan ng Pilipino. Di ba? Importante po siya. Dapat makapag-live siya agad. Huwag siyang tatago-tago kung saan. Pero naniniwala po ba kayo na nakakulong si Lisa Araneta? Ako hindi ako naniniwala na nakakulong siya eh. Dahil hindi ko pa siya nakikita. Di ba? Disclaimer lang po ha, fake news ako. Para ang sasabihin na, fake news ako. Huwag kayong maniwala sa lahat ng sinasabi ko. Disclaimer lang sa mga BBM supporter dyan, tsaka mga hindi DDS supporter. Fake news ako, huwag kayong maniwala sa akin. Well, pag naniwala pa rin kayo sa akin, problema nyo na. Hindi tayo fake news. Ano po ito? It's a reaction video, di ba? Nagre-react po tayo sa katarantaduan ng ginagawa ng kung sino-sino dyan. Ito, pakinggan po natin si Senator Harry Roque. At galit na po si Paduano. Di ba? Si Paduano muna.
Will be answered by the Department of Foreign Affairs at saka ng Bureau of Immigration. So most probably on the next series of Quadcom, we might as well invite DFA and Bureau of Immigration to explain to the committee with regards to the documents, especially the passport being used by Harry Roque, because alam naman ng lahat na Atty. Harry Roque is being cited in contempt in the House. So, nagtatago nga siya pero doon, komportable siyang naglalakad, no? And hindi pa nga namin alam talaga kung from what country siya before Netherlands ang galing.
Baka komportable naglalakad, maganda yung sapatos niya. Tsaka wala siyang arthritis. Di ba? Baka komportable siya naglalakad dahil masaya siya, di ba?
So malalaman natin siguro yan in the next hearing, no? Then we'll ask the DFA kung anong pwedeng mga legal remedies with regards to the order of the House in relation to the passports and documents na ginagamit ni Atty. Harry Roque.
Pwede ipa-cancel yun, sir?
Let us ask the legal opinion of the legal department of the House and of course the legal department also of the DFA.
Sir, anong liability ng DFA and BI?
As of now, we cannot talk about the liabilities of the two agencies. But sabi ko na nga, they have to explain to the committee na Harry Roque is cited in contempt but is scot-free. Especially ngayon, lumabas na talaga with BP Sara pa and all other entourage dun sa The Hague.
So, susulatan ninyo, sir? Susulatan ng Quadcom?
And definitely they will be invited in the next hearing. I will ask the chairman, especially the lead chairperson, si Chairman Barbers, that we will invite the FA and BI with regards to that.
Sir, when's the next hearing?
Tentatively Friday, but let us see if it will be postponed.
Sir, ano lang po yung naramdaman nyo nung nakita nyo si Atty. Harry Roque na ang tagal nang hinahanap ng Quadcom tapos andun siya bigla?
Wala, ganun lang.
Wala daw!
But of course,
Magsinungaling!
agencies should explain, no?
Wala daw!
Agencies should explain to the committee and to the House bakit ganun, no?
We're not cooperating, we're not coordinating, and we're not giving any information that was elicited from the Quadcom hearings.
Why not, sir?
Because we are not members of, we are not a member of the ICC, therefore we're not obliged.
Pero, sir... Sorry, go ahead. Pero, sir, di ba sinabi nyo na nasa public realm naman yung records ninyo? Even so?
Yeah, well, if they can access the records in the social media platforms, let them do it that way. But asking the participation of the Quadcom, I'm sorry, but we cannot because we are not a member of the ICC.
Okay. Sir, may other questions po?
Sir, kahit may
Okay.
subpoena, Sir Vivian, ABS-CBN, kahit may subpoena,
IBS.
kahit sir isubpoena ng ICC, the Quadcom will not comply?
Well, no. We cannot be subjected to a subpoena. Maybe they can coordinate with the national government. Perhaps with our DOJ. Kasi all these records are already public because these are all recorded in all the social media platforms.
And as of now, sir, walang communication sa Quadcom? Walang letter, anything from the ICC?
No letters, no coordination.
Alam po niyo, ang gobyerno hindi ko naiintindihan eh. Di ba? Minsan mag-uugas ng kamay ang isa't isa. Minsan iiwas si Pusoy. Di ba?
No request as we speak.
Sir, just in case gamitin ng ICC yung evidence gathered by the Quadcom, should they cite you as the source?
Well, they can always do that because as I said earlier, it is of public knowledge and public record. All the proceedings of the Quad have been recorded in all the social media platforms, so they can probably cite the social media platform where they got the information and probably put that on record.
Sir, Zandro Ochona po from Billionario. Sir, 6 years after the exit...
Hi, Sandro.
Hi, sir. Good morning. Sir, 6 years after the exit, do you think it's about time na we go back to ICC para klaro lahat?
Well, I think let the executive decide on whether we're going to be a member again or going back to the ICC membership. It's the prerogative of the executive.
Pero sir, if in case the government decides na bumalik, will you support it?
Well, first, I cannot speak in behalf of the Quad, no? But to me, yes, ako, pabor ako sa ICC membership ng Pilipinas.
Bakit sir? Bakit po?
Well, it is in cases where there should be someone who would look into, say, the delivery of justice, no, to those who are oppressed.
O, di ba? Si Barbers, pabor daw po siya na maging membro ng ICC. Ibig sabihin si Barbers, kung naniniwala siya na working and functioning ng ating judiciary system dito at kaya nating gobyernoin ng ating mga sarili na walang tulong ng ibang lahi na kung saan itong mga membro ng ICC na dito, sila dati yung mga conquistador, yung mga mananakop, yung mga kanlurang bansa na gustong kontrolin tayo noong unang panahon. Hanggang ngayon, gusto nila tayong kontrolin. Di ba? Ngayon, kung ganyan ang pananaw ni Barbers, na gusto niyang, ito, sa kanya-kanyang pananaw to, Barbers, ha? Pero kung yan ang pananaw mo, inirerespeto ko. Dahil naunawaan ko na kung ganyan ang pananaw mo, na kinakailangan natin na mayroong mga banyagang bansa o banyagang mga lilitis sa atin, ibig sabihin, ang ating bansa ay hindi mailalayo doon sa mga bansang walang matibay na hudikatura, walang matibay na gobyerno, walang matibay na batas upang litisin ang sinuman na kanyang mga mamamayan o citizen. Kaya dito, kung kayo ay nangangarap at nagnanais na maging miyembro ng ICC, ay pinapakita lang natin na kailangan natin ng mga padrino para parusahan ng mga taong hindi natin kayang parusahan sa ating sariling batas dito sa ating bansa. Di ba, Barbers? Gano'n ang ibig mo sabihin? Tanong lang. Di ba? O gusto mo lang dahil narinig mo sa Malacanang na gustong bumalik sa ICC at siyempre gusto mong magpasikat. Baka gano'n lang. Tanong din yun.
Those who are victims of crimes that...
Anyway, punta muna po tayo kay Harry Roque, kay Sir Harry Roque.
So, na masiguro na yung due process right ng nasasakdal rin sa lokal na batas. At dahil sangayon nga sa na lumabas doon sa investigasyon ng Senado ni Senator Amy Marcos. Ang lumalabas, ang meron lang palang na-issue para arestuhin ang ating dating Presidente Rodrigo Duterte ay isang diffusion order. At bagamat sinasabi palagi ng ating mga opisyales na sila ay makikipagtulungan sa Interpol pag nagkaroon ng red alert notice, wala pong red alert notice. So ano yung diffusion order at bakit ito ay sablay bilang legal na basihan sa pag-aresto kay Presidente Duterte? Well, unang-una po nasabi na natin na sang-ayon sa Article 59 ng Rome Statute of the ICC, bago maaresto ang tao para padala sa ICC, dapat iharap muna sa lokal na hukuman. At ang mangyayari doon sa lokal na hukuman, para siyang extradition. A-ascertain yung identity ng tao, sisiguraduhin na yung kanyang mga karapatan ay narespeto, at saka syempre issue na kung meron bang jurisdiction yung hukuman na nagre-request ng extradition ng isang Pilipino. So anyway, ang sinasabi nila, Secretary Remulla, palagi nilang sinasabi, kinakailangan makipagtulungan pag merong red notice alert. Kalokohan po yun. Kasi malinaw naman po na ang red notice alert ay hindi siya international warrant of arrest. Yung pagpapatupad po ng red notice alert ay sang-ayon pa rin sa lokal na batas. At dahil sang-ayon nga sa Rome Statute na kinakailangang iharap siya sa hukuman, ang dahilan kaya kinakailangang iharap sa hukuman ay para masigurado na sang-ayon sa ating saligang batas na no person shall be deprived of life, liberty, or property without due process of law, na maririnig muna yung tao na arestuhin. Lalong-lalo na kung siya ay merong pagtutol doon sa jurisdiksyon ng hukuman na magliliti sa kanya o humihingi ng kanyang pagkatao. At alam naman natin sa mulat mula, sinasabi natin na wala ng jurisdiction ICC dahil tayo po'y bumitiw na at nagsimula yung preliminary investigation matapos or lampas na doon sa 1 taon matapos tayo nag-deposit ng instrument of withdrawal. Ang nakapagtataka, bagamat paulit-ulit nilang sinasabi na tayo ay susunod at makikipag-cooperate para ipatupad ang red notice alert, wala palang red alert notice. Wala palang red alert notice.
Kung walang red alert notice, anong meron? Di ba?
Now, ano ba pagkakaiba nitong sinasabi na red alert notice, no? At saka yung Interpol diffusion? Well, unang-una po, ang diffusion, bansa lang ang nagpapakalat niyan sa iba't ibang bansa. Ibig sabihin, nanggaling sa Pilipinas yung diffusion order. At yung diffusion order ay nakikiusap ang Pilipinas na arestuhin or at least i-facilitate yung pag-aresto para ma-extradite ang isang tao. Siguro kaya sila kumuha ng diffusion order, ang intensyon nila sa Hong Kong huhulihin. Pero kung ikaw ay merong diffusion notice, bakit mo na mapadadala sa sarili mo yan? Ikaw lang bilang isang bansa ang nakikiusap na kung mahahanap nyo itong taong ito sa jurisdiction ninyo, pakihuli lang at pakidala sa amin para siya ay ma-extradite. So malinaw po, hindi nanggaling mismo sa Interpol ang diffusion notice. Yan po ay nanggaling mismo sa gobyerno ng Pilipinas. Ibig sabihin, kung yan ay hiningi natin para hilingin sa Hong Kong na arestuhin si Presidente Marcos, well, naintindihan natin yon kasi nga wala namang jurisdiction ng Pilipinas sa Hong Kong. Pero kung yan ay galing mismo sa Pilipinas, para namang ulul yan. Alam mo namang i-request mong sarili mo na arestuhin. Ba't ka pa magre-request? Ikaw na nga magpapa-aresto. So binobola tayo ng mga administrasyon ng Marcos Jr. nung sinasabi nila na legal ang pag-a-arrest dahil ito'y diffusion notice. Uulitin ko po, parang ulul naman tayo na sasabihin natin sa ating sarili, sa bansang Pilipinas, sige nga, tulungan mo akong arestuhin. Ang ibig sabihin po niyan, Pilipinas lang talaga ang nagdesisyon na arestuhin ang presidente. Wala pong kinalaman ang Interpol, wala pong kinalaman ang International Criminal Court. Ganun pa man, ano naman ang pagkakaiba ng diffusion?
O diba, kung Kung totoo po ang sinasabi ito ni Atty. Harry Roque, ibig sabihin talagang hayagan at lantaran na talagang hinuli ng sapilitan ang ating Pangulong Duterte at isinakay sa eroplano ng sapilitan papuntang Dahi dahil anong dahilan? Hindi nila kayang talunin sa Pilipinas? So, hanggang ngayon, nakakulong na ang Pangulong Duterte, hindi pa nila kayang talunin. Eh baka nasa libingan na nga yung Pangulong Duterte, hindi nyo pa kayang talunin eh.
At saka yung red notice. Well, yung red notice kasi, Interpol mismo ang nag-i-issue niyan. Kung gets nyo? Ang diffusion, Pilipinas ang nag-issue na nakikiusap sa mga bansa, tulungan nyo kaming arestuhin si PRRD. Pero bakit mo gagamitin nga ang diffusion kung pag-aaresto sa Pilipinas mismo? Samantalang, ang red alert notice naman, galing sa Interpol at lahat ng miyembro ng Interpol ay pinakikiusapan, pwede ba pakiaresto preparatory sa extradition? Hindi po automatic yan kahit tayong parte ng daigdig. Kasi kinakailangan magkaroon ng proseso na masiguro na yung due process right ng nasasakdal ay may respeto. Kaya nga po, kapag ang proseso ay parang extradition, yung extradition hearing na yan ay para lang masigurado na yung due process right, yung karapatang madinig ng nasasakdal, kung meron na labag na karapatang pantao o kung ano man ang objection niya doon sa jurisdiction ng korteng liliti sa kanya, ay madesisyonan ng korte. Malinaw po. Pero walang nag-request na arestuhin ng presidente, yan ay decision lamang ng Pilipinas. So wag na sana tayong malinlang bilang taong bayan na di umano sumusunod lang kami sa warrant of arrest ng ICC. Now, sabihin natin merong warrant of arrest. Hindi nga po automatic yung pagtutulungan ng mga bansa. Kaya nga po, ang nakahandang petition sana ay certiorari para mapigilan yung pagtutulungan ng mga Pilipino sa ICC. Pero sa punto pag-aresto po, wala pang kahit anong hiningi ang ICC. Sa katotohanan, nabulaga na lang sila at nandyan na ang pagkatao ni Presidente Rodrigo Roa Duterte sa dahig na hindi pa naman sila formal na humihingi ng kooperasyon ng Pilipinas. Ibig sabihin, talagang nais nilang tanggalin si Presidente Duterte bilang tinik sa kanilang plano na Marcos forever. Malinaw po yan at ngayon po, nagtagumpay sila. Pero pag-uusapan nga po, no, ngayong malinaw na wala namang request ang ICC na isurrender siya. Paano naman magkakaroon ng duty to cooperate kung hindi pa nagkaroon ng request? Di ba? Kakatawa naman yan. Ibig sabihin, binolunteer ng Pilipinas ang pagkatao ni Presidente Duterte, pero si Presidente Duterte hindi siya nag-voluntary surrender. Labag sa kanyang kalooban at kagustuhan ang pagpapadala sa kanya sa dahig. Walang voluntary surrender. Kaya nga tinatawag natin, kidnapping ang nangyari. Diba? Dahil kung yan ay dinaan sa tamang proseso, binigyan sana siya ng kanyang karapatan ng due process at yan nga ay sa harapan ng hukuman.
Mantayin ninyo ang daling ipakulong ng tao sa ibang bansa, ano? Isakay mo sa aeroplano, dire-diretso sa kulungan. Wala nang litis-litis. Wala nang yung warrant of arrest, o walang, ang malupit pa dito, walang yung bail, yung pwede kang magpiyansa. Di ba?
Kaya lang, kung todo bola sila, di umano, sumusunod lang kami sa ating obligasyon sa tratado. Hello! Miski sa Interpol po, walang obligasyon na sumunod sa Interpol. Miski meron ng red notice alert. Bakit? Depende pa rin po yan sa lokal na batas. At ang ating lokal na batas, unang-una, ang saligang batas, no person shall be deprived of life, liberty, or property without due process of law. At yung proseso na susundin ay yung proseso ng deportation. Malinaw po yan, ha? So ngayon, dahil hindi naman pala humingi ng tulong ang ICC, binolunteer ng Pilipinas ang pagkatao ni Presidente Duterte na malinaw naman sa mga video na bakit, ano kasalanan ko, bakit niyo ako hinuhuli? talagang malinaw po, kidnapping. Malinaw na malinaw pa sa sikat ng araw ang nangyari. Kaya nga po umaasa ako na dahil sibilisado naman ang mga West sa ICC at sibilisado naman yung hukuman na yan, na hindi sila papayag na magpatuloy ang kanilang jurisdiction, gayong ang pagkatao ni Presidente Duterte ay nakuha sa pamamagitan ng kidnapping. Malinaw po yan. Maraming salamat nga pala dun sa nagpadala sa akin ng yung diffusion notice. Parang telegram po yan. Pero nakakatawa nga, yung diffusion notice dapat pinapadala yan sa iba't ibang bansa. Hindi mo dapat padala yan sa sarili mo. Dahil ang requesting party, Pilipinas, ang ginawa niya, pinadala niya sa sarili niya, pinatupad niya yung sarili niyang request sa kanyang sarili. Di ba nakakabuang yun?
Hey, Bobong Marcos! Nakakabuang daw ang nangyari! Sino pa bang ano dito? Si Bonjing. Tsaka yung mga si Latyan. Si Torete. Kasama si... anong pangalan nun? Yung tumakbong presidente na talunan. Si Gibo. Gibo Inodoro. Tsaka si Anyo. Anyo. Diba itong si Anyo ay amoy Inodoro din yan. Grabe ano. Diba? Nabaliw na ang gobyerno ito, ganoon. Tanong lang.
Hello talaga. Well anyway, darating na po ang takdang panahon at yan naman po ay mailalabas sa hukuman. O nga pala po, no, kami po ay in the process of filing a reply doon sa sagot ng OSG, hindi pala OSG, ng DOJ, doon sa hinain naming habeas corpus with certiorari and TRO na ang aming naging kliyente ay si Congressman Pulong. In any case, bawal naman ako magkomento sa merito dyan. Sinasabi lang namin na mali yung pagkakahuli dahil nga po walang legal na visa ang warrant of arrest na in-issue ng ICC. Pero hindi pa namin alam ng mga panahon na yon na niwala palang request sa ICC na isurrender ang pagkatao ni Presidente Duterte. Kaya naman nagkaroon ng certiorari kasi nga kung sila ay makipagtulungan, yan ay magiging grave abuse of discretion dahil walang basihan talaga para tayo makipagtulungan dahil tayo po nga ay nagbitiw na sa pagiging miyembro ng ICC. Pero yan naman po ay statement of fact lang. Hindi na po ako magsasabi kung tama ako may mali dahil yan naman po ay nakabinbin na sa hukuman. So, hihimay-himayin po natin yung mga nakuhang mga katotohanan ng committee ni Senator Amy Marcos dahil marami pa po dyan na dapat nating pag-usapan. No? Pero lahat po yung pinag-uusapan natin kung tama nga ba yung proseso na paghuli at pagpadala kay dating Presidente Rodrigo Roa Duterte sa Hague. At ang pinag-usapan natin ngayon, dahil wala pang request na mag-cooperate ang ICC sa Pilipinas, voluntaryong sinurrender ng gobyerno ng Pilipinas si Tatay Digong, maski ito pa ay labag sa kagustuhan ni Tatay Digong, kaya nga po naging kidnapping. Okay? Well, anyway, siguro naman alam niyo ng elemento ng kidnapping, no? Pero para malinaw, sasabihin ko na rin po sa inyo kung anong elemento ng kidnapping. Memoryado ko naman po yan dahil ngayon meron akong 2 linilitis na kidnapping, no? Siyempre, ang kidnapping ay defined as, unang-una, yung deprivation of liberty ng isang tao. Nakita naman po natin na talagang pinagbawal na si Presidente Duterte na makalabas pa ng eroplano, dinala siya doon sa Villamor at hindi na siya pinayagang umalis doon. At sapilitan na isinakay sa eroplano at dinala sa The Hague. Okay? So, malino po na sakop talaga ng elemento ng kidnapping yung nangyari kay Presidente Rodrigo Roa Duterte. Merong unlawful taking or detention, merong use of force, threat and intimidation, sabi nga dun sa hearing, 7,000 policemen. Lack of consent, dahil paulit-ulit po na tumututol si Tatay Digong, at saka yung pag-alis nga, sapilitang isinakay sa eroplano at dinala sa The Hague. Lahat po ng nagkaroon ng partisipasyon dyan sa pangyayaring yan, lahat po kayo liable sa kidnapping. So actually, pero tsaka na natin gawin muna yan. Ang importante, maibalik muna si Tatay Digong. Sana po tayo ay nakatulong sa pagkakaroon ng karagdagang kaalaman dito sa mga pangyayari dito kay Presidente Duterte. At dahil pinag-uusapan nga natin itong issue to, nagkaroon na rin kayo ng karagdagang kaalaman tungkol sa batas. Maraming salamat po sa inyong patuloy na pagtangkilik. Ito po ang inyong spokes ng bayan, Harry Roque, nagsasabi, I love you, Philippines. You're the only country I have. You're the only country that I love. God bless the Philippines. At huwag niyo po kakalimutan, Gabay Party List 139 sa balota.
Tingnan po ninyo, gabay, may gabay pa siya. Anyway, napakaganda po ng ipinaliwanag ni Senator Harry Roque, di ba, Senator Harry Roque? Di ba, matagin niyo yan, naglabas ng diffusion order, ayun ay dapat ipadala sa ibang bansa dahil nga diffusion order yun, di ba? Ayun ang ginamit na parang warrant of arrest yun. O ito, pakinggan po ngayon natin si Senator Cayetano.
In conformity with national laws and or application bilateral and multilateral treaties. Tapos this request is treated as a formal request for provisional arrest in conformity with national laws. So, yun lang ang question ko kasi dun sa una sabi hindi sila sumulat, hindi nyo alam kung sino nag-cooperate. Of course, I'll take your answers at face value and presumption of regularity unless it's inconsistent. So, dito lang sa action taken, so dito sa page 2, sinong nagbigay ng assurances? Tapos nung na-receive natin to na this is to be taken as a formal request, did we take this as a formal request? I'll stop there just so that before we move to the treaty and tama ba yung surrender? I just want, factually lang. So to our knowledge, Secretary,
ano ho yan form letter nga ho yan ng ICC.
Yeah.
In expectation po nila, walang ibang option kundi extradition. Pero hindi ho ganun ng bating batas Our local law, Republic Act 1951, allows us an executive option.
Thank
So to your knowledge, SOJ, ma'am, para lang hindi malito kasi dalawa yung Secretary Remulla, may I call you SOJ and may I call you SILG, just so that walang confusion. So sir, so to your knowledge, yung sinasabi nilang sa kabilang page at saka sa page na to na assurances were given, to your knowledge, that wasn't from the Philippine government.
Ano ho yan Ang sinasabi po nila dyan, makakasiguro kayo na hihingi namin sa extradition ang taong yan na aming ginawang wanted.
But is that Interpol so did Interpol assure that?
Kasi ano ito diffusion notice is not given to, pagkaya ng red notice buong mundo nakukuha yan, itong diffusion notice limited to a few countries. And then distinction.
And then sino po ang empowered to give them assurances that we will? Or is it standard?
Sila standard, kaya nga form letter po nila yan
Okay.
Form letter nila yan.
But when they say that there was assurances from us, is that a general assurance because we're member of Interpol or meron nagsabi sa atin that we assure you?
They are the ones assuring us that they will seek the extradition.
Okay.
Sila po nag-assure sa atin.
Okay, gusto ko lang tapusin to, at sumunod kay Senator Cayetano. Yung sumunod na sentence, basahin po ninyo, the request is to be treated as a formal request for provisional arrest. Ibig sabihin provisional, in conformity with national laws. So ang liwanag po, hindi yun ang nangyari kasi hindi naman provisional arrest, dinala na dun sa dahig. At saka in conformity with national laws, kapag yung Article 17 po ng RA 9851, hindi naman siya sumunod.
Ang provisional arrest po is only for extradition. Hindi po kasi extradition ang route natin.
Okay, pero natapos na tayo sa extradition, pinag-usapan na ni Senator Cayetano. Ang request lang dito, provisional arrest.
Kaya nga ginagamit po yung
Provisional
term.
pa lang?
Ginagamit pong term na provisional arrest in conjunction with extradition. Hindi po extradition ang ating pinagdaanan dito.
Okay, nais kong tawagin ang ating eksperto dito, si Professor Alexis Medina, na nagpapaliwanag na yung surrender ay naiiba sa extradition at maliwanag yon sa lahat. Kaya't I'd like to recognize Attorney Alexis Medina po. You've written extensively on the distinction and application of surrender versus extradition. Ano ang nangyari kay Presidente Duterte? Surrender ba yan or extradition?
Thank you for the invitation, Honorable Madam Chair. And good afternoon, everyone, the Cabinet Secretaries and distinguished members of the Executive Branch. Okay. Also, Senator Cayetano, good afternoon, Senator Bongo, Senator Jingo Estrada. Going back to the question, there was the proposition that the immediate surrender of the person arrested to the jurisdiction of a foreign government or foreign state or international tribunal can be undertaken without judicial proceedings under 9851, Section 17. I respect the opinion of our hardworking and brilliant Secretary of Justice, but nevertheless, I respectfully disagree. Surrender without judicial proceedings might amount to a violation of the liberty of abode that is guaranteed by Section 6 of the Bill of Rights. The liberty of abode cannot be impaired without a lawful order of the court. That's the text of the Constitution. Now, this constitutional protection is a barrier for any government action that would simply compel an individual to change his residence. So to compel a person, to expel a person from his country of residence without a lawful court order by excluding the judicial process might amount to a violation of the liberty of abode. Now, surrender as an option under Section 17 is applicable only in very narrow situations. One is when the person to be arrested has already voluntarily surrendered to the custody of the national government, in which case that negates the necessity of the extradition process. The other option is when the person to be arrested is actually an alien, in which case there's no need to go through the extrajudicial process. It's only a deportation process which does not involve a court proceedings. So, in those two instances, surrender without court proceedings would be possible. Other than those proceedings, it would be very difficult to maintain that is sanctioned by the Constitution.
So ang
Thank you, Your Honor.
sinasabi po ninyo, dalawa lang pagkakataon na pwede mag-surrender. Kung yung mismong akusado at arestado ang nagsusumite sa pamahalaan, yun, pwede yun.
Yes po.
Kusa niya yun.
Yes.
Ikalawa, kapag banyaga.
Yes po.
Hindi naman Pilipino.
Yes po.
Deport, executive action yun.
Yes po.
Mabilis, walang kailangan na korte-korte.
Yes po.
So yun lang, wala na pong ibang exception, wala na pong ibang sitwasyon kung saan pwedeng surrender. Kasi pinagpipilitan na sinuko ang Pangulong Duterte ng pamahalaan sa Interpol. Yun ang pagkaintindi ko sa sinasabi kanina. Sinasabi ninyo, hindi po pwede yun. Dalawang pagkakataon lang ang po pwede isuko ang isang Pilipino. Yung isa pa nga, hindi sa Pilipino. Attorney Medina po.
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. I stand by my statement. There may be possibilities that surrender can happen in other situations, but certainly surrender of a person necessarily requires the lawful order of the court. And this requirement is consistent with the policy of the Constitution that whenever there's a deprivation of liberty, court intervention, judicial proceedings, judicial process is a requirement because the right to liberty is placed in an exalted status in our constitutional system. Hindi po pwedeng, the Constitution does not contemplate exclusion of the court process in depriving a person of his right to liberty.
Kung hindi pwedeng isuko ang isang Pilipino na hindi pumapayag, hindi naman voluntary, ang ibig mo sabihin, ang iba pang pagkakataon, extradition na.
Yes,
That's the only legal process to enforce surrender to the ICC. I-extradite na kapag Pilipino ka. Tama po ba?
I agree, Madam Chair. Thank you. And extradition is a judicial proceedings. Involves judicial proceedings po.
Okay.
May I
At
respond?
maliwanag din dito, maski yung Interpol mismo, sinasaad na kinakailangan provisional arrest, extradition to be applied for in conformity with national laws. Sinasabi nga sa ating konstitusyon, sa ating Korte Suprema lamang at sa mga iba't iba pang korte. Kasama pa ba yung korte sa ICC?
If I may comment. Your Honor, can I give the context for my statements?
Yes, please.
Yeah, okay. My apologies. I had to answer the question directly. I was invited on the basis of a post I made online, a legal opinion on the arrest of the former president. I'd like
And also your qualifications as an international
yes.
lawyer.
No, I'm a teacher of constitutional law. I taught at San Sebastian College, Recoletos, Manila, the Polytechnic University of Manila, and the New Era University. I also give lectures for bar review examiners. Okay. Well, when I posted a legal opinion on the arrest of the president, to my surprise, it gained public traction. And my objective in posting that is really for academic discourse, not for any legal or political advocacy. I'd like to make it clear to everyone in the room, I am not here as a partisan. Okay, I am not involved in any political activity. My views that I posted are from the detached perspective of an academic.
Full disclosure po, I've never met you before.
Yeah, opo.
I've only read you. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you po. And to be honest po, 2016, I did not even vote for the former president. I was counsel for Grace Poe. Okay, so Senator Grace Poe. So my view that the arrest and detention and expulsion of the former president may have infringed several constitutional guarantees in favor of the former president. Thank you.
Thank you very much,
Madam Chair.
Attorney Medina. I think Senator Cayetano has evinced his desire to
Well,
interpolate.
full disclosure then, I'm trying to be non-partisan. I ran as an independent last election, no political party. But I did vote for the president in 2016. No? So I saw the SOJ raising his hand. Would you like to give your comment now? Or I'm actually going to ask him questions on this. Then I'll ask the chair to give you time to rebut.
I would like to hear your questions
Okay,
and answers.
thank you for that. So, sir, tayo ba nag-meet na rin ba tayo?
I don't think so,
I
sir.
don't think so. So, yeah. So, I don't mean to be rude, and I thank you for your, volunteering your opinion. Kasi nga, basically, there's so much confusion. So, we're trying to get through the confusion, not only for today, but also for tomorrow, to make sure that we respect our Constitution and everyone's right is protected. So, my first question, in this room, do we all agree that if there's conflict between international law and our Constitution will prevail?
Yes, Your Honor, that's the doctrine of constitutional supremacy.
You agree, SOJ? No? Yeah. If there's conflict, di ba? Kasi sinabi naman sa Constitution that international law forms part of the land of the law. So if there's no conflict, wala tayong problema. Okay. So having said that, one of the fundamental or yung anchors or foundations of the Philippine Constitution, also from the U.S. Constitution, is Section 1 of the Bill of Rights, that no person shall be deprived of life, liberty, or property without due process of law, nor shall any person be denied equal protection of law. Agree, sir?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. So, when we arrest someone, we're depriving him of liberty.
Yes, Your Honor.
When we deport someone by virtue of a warrant arrest, let's say like in the case of Congressman Mark Jimenez, extradition with the U.S., we're depriving him of liberty.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. So when we, alleged lawful arrest, let me just use it that way while we're determining, of former President Duterte, and then putting him to a plane to Hague, we deprived him of liberty.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. So the next question, was he given due process? So ang sinasabi po ng government, there are two ways, extradition or surrender.
Yes.
Okay. And tama po ba, this law that we're invoking now was passed before we ratified yung ICC?
Yes.
This law was prior to the ICC, no? Judicial Notice. Republic Act
9851.
9851. No? I mentioned that because in the interpellation of, I think it was Senator Gordon and Senator Loren, and then meron din Senator Miriam, it was made clear doon na kailangan magpasan pa ng ibang legislation for the pag mag-a-arrest. Ayan, no? Senator Legarda, so even if the executive ratifies it and we concur in its ratification, and we pass this proposed measure that we are contemplating now, is it not enough to implement the Rome Statute? Mali lang yung records, wrong statute nakalagay. Pero mukhang tama din na wrong talaga. Pero Rome Statute dapat to. Okay. Senator Gordon, yes, it is just like the VFA all over again. It is not enough, Mr. President, because there will be a mechanism upon which we would have to surrender certain nationals who have committed war crimes or violations against covered by the statute that we have not to be met, no? So meaning, if you take judicial notice of this, while we were passing this law later on, the intent of the legislature was to pass a mechanism for surrender. You can dispute that later on, sir, and look into it. I don't think we'll finish everything naman today, di ba? Some of this we really have to also consult everyone, no? But having said that, I think the point of the senators there was, klaro kasi extradition. So sa extradition, mako-comply mo yung due process sa Section 1 because you will, tama ba ako, you will be brought before a judge.
Yes po.
They will show you the extradition notice and the other papers like the warrant of arrest, and the person being arrested can answer before the judge. Tama
Yes
po ba?
po.
Okay. So let me go to Section 2. The right of the people to be secure in their persons, houses, papers, and effects against unreasonable searches and seizures of whatever nature and for whatever purpose shall be inviolable, no? So, i-google na lang natin inviolable, but tama ba? Basically, you cannot violate this.
Opo.
Okay. And no search warrant or warrant of arrest shall issue except upon probable cause to be determined personally by the judge and after examination under oath or affirmation of the complainant and the witness he may produce, and particularly describing the place to be searched and the person or things to be seized. Okay. Mas bata ka ba sa akin? 1970 ako pinanganak.
Matanda na po ako.
So,
Yeah.
halos magka-age tayo.
Hindi po, mas matanda po ako.
Mas matanda ka ng konti. Sorry, mas mukha kang bata sa akin. But, no, the point is, because medyo middle kaming pinanganak nun, I think mas ka-age ko si Gilbert, no? So, ang alam ko lang, by the time kasi I got to law school, 87, 97 ako graduate, 10 years na tong constitution na to eh. This was all a reaction to martial law, where they had different kinds of warrant of arrest, including yung ASO and whatever, which were all legal.
So, ibig sabihin po, ang ating konstitusyon ay nailathala ay ayon sa martial law, ganun? Di ba? Kung ganun, ibig sabihin, ang konstitusyon na yan ay ayaw ni Bongbong Marcos? Tanong lang yan, ayaw niya yan? Kaya hindi nasunod ang konstitusyon na yan doon sa di umano ayon kay VP Sara, pag-kidnap kay Pangulong Duterte at hindi na sinunod yung due process of law dahil ayaw niya yung 1987 Constitution at yun. Sabi nila, hindi ko alam kung totoo o hindi, bahala na kayong mag-isip doon na parang walang election sa 2028, gano'n. Ay, yun ay sabi-sabi lang. Kung hindi magkakaroon ng election sa 2028, tuloy-tuloy ba ang kanilang kapangyarihan? Katanungan lang yan na dapat na ating pag-isipan.
During that time, I'm not judging that time. I'm just saying, both under martial law, the former constitution, jurisprudence, going from the Spanish to the Japanese period to the American period to our independence. So in the wisdom of the Filipino people, pinasa to na except, ang alam ko lang exception, there may be one or two, but alam ko exception yung sinabi mong deportation because when they come in, hindi na kailangan pumunta sa judge, immigration officials can deport or arrest them, di ba? Pero otherwise, hindi pwedeng si SOJ, DILG, hindi pwedeng si Secretary, no matter how brilliant Secretary Gubo is, when he's in the military can only arrest their personnel, no, under certain codes, di ba? But he cannot issue a warrant of arrest, di ba? So the safeguard of each and every Filipino sa due process is you're brought before a judge, and due process is one, yung nakalagay dito, that you're informed about the nature of, the words is in, 12. Yan. Sa section 12, any person under investigation for the commission of offense shall have the right to be informed of his right to remain silent and have competent and independent counsel preferably of his choice. Yan po, General Torre, yung Miranda rights na binasa mo kay former President Duterte. Tama po, no? I didn't see the whole video eh. I just heard SILG said that there's a whole video, but I only saw sa internet, pero nakita ko binasahan. Okay. Pero nakalagay dito, okay. If he cannot afford, he can be given a counsel, so may question ako later on dyan. Okay, but on section 14, eto. In all criminal prosecution, the accused shall be presumed innocent until contrary is proved, and shall enjoy the right to be heard by himself and counsel. Eto importante. To be informed of the nature and cause of the accusation against him, and then to have a speedy trial, no? So meaning, the more you have to explain yung cause at yung nature kung foreign, because you're not familiar with their laws compared sa laws natin. So for example, in the case of Mark Jimenez, he questioned the extradition request before a Philippine judge. I googled it, nakalagay pa nga doon. Nagrereklamo siya, mas atat pa daw yung Pilipino na extradite siya kaso sa Amerikano. I don't even know it's true, no? But my question is, sir, so is it your proposition that if we surrender without an arrest from a Philippine judge, we're denying him due process? That's my words based on Section 1, but feel free to use your words.
Thank you, Senator. Yes, I agree. Basically, the principle involved here is due process. I think a lot of commentators have already pointed out the requirement of adherence to the principle of due process. So, whatever it is that the government is action is taking that would deprive a person of life, liberty, or process or property, it has to go through a certain process. It's called procedural due process. If it's a crime, it's a criminal due process. It's a procedural due process requires opportunity to be heard, reasonable opportunity to be heard by and in an impartial or before an impartial tribunal.
And in criminal law, both procedural and substantial due process are essential. Not only
Yes,
important,
yes.
but are essential,
Yes,
diba?
yes,
Because
yeah.
in let's say, other cases, kung magkamali ng konti sa procedure, it's repairable. Pero sa criminal law, na-accuse ka na mali, kambal mo pala yon, or nung pinasa yung batas na yon, hindi pa pala crime, and then you weren't informed, fatal yon. So much so, that meron ngang doctrine of the poisonous tree, di ba? That if yung evidence that were taken from you were illegally obtained, ni hindi pwedeng gamitin against you. Is my recollection of the law. You're a professor, so you continually review this. I don't continually review you do this, no, but I should, of course.
I agree, Senator.
Okay.
The rule is the exclusionary rule for violation of the right against
Yeah.
unreasonable searches.
I was just emphasizing how important the procedural due process is, because my next question, sinabi mo nga reasonable time, di ba? So,
reasonable opportunity.
reasonable opportunity, which includes reasonable time, right?
Opo.
Because even if you can run to court, if you give the court 3 hours, 5 hours, 10 hours, it's not for us because wala namang Supreme Court regulation or batas na nagsasabing the writ of habeas corpus has to be issued in 12 hours or 1 day or etc. Diba? So you give reasonable time. So can I just interject one question kay General Torre? So sir, when you read the Miranda rights, did you explain the nature and cause of of the crime that he's being accused of?
Yes, sir. It is on record and caught on video, sir.
Yeah, sorry about I don't know lang kasi about the record, so I'm not doubting you.
Yes, sir.
Ang napanood ko lang kasi yung standard Miranda rights that
Yes, sir.
you have. So, how did you read to him yung nature and cause? It's sa warrant or you...
Yes, sir. I read it
narrate-
from the warrant, sir. It
From
was
the warrant.
extracted from the warrant by the DOJ.
So you read to him the warrant. Around
Yes.
what time po yun? More or less.
Mga around before lunchtime, sir.
So nung hinuli mo pa lang, binasa nyo na sa kanya yung warrant?
When
Kasi
we-
yung nakita namin video, sir, sa airport, the wife of former ES Miguel Dia was asking nga, di ba? And Ma'am Hanilet was also asking. At sinabi nyo, I don't know what you answered, but basically hindi nyo pa pinakita yung warrant noon, di ba?
Nung yung mga video na yun, sir, gabi na yun, sir. Tapos na ang lahat na yun, sir. Paulit-ulit na lang, inuulit-ulit.
No,
na
what
lang,
I was
sir.
saying is that ang nakita kong video, yung
Yes.
palabas pa lang sila, and you were informing him naman na meron warrant, di ba?
Palabas sa tube, sir.
Sa tube, oo.
Nung palabas sa tube, sir, when the party of the former president is going out of the tube, doon, sir, sa mismong junction ng tube at sa yung moving junction, sir, ng tube, he was already met by PG, who attempted to read him his rights.
Okay.
And they said, wag na, pababain natin ang tension, doon na lang sa 250th.
Okay, so they attempted
wing,
to
sir.
read him his right, and dala nila yung warrant nun, hindi pa?
Yes, sir. Dala na, sir.
Dala na nila?
They will not
So yung
go out of
issue
the
na
plane.
walang dala, that's not true kasi dala nila?
Hindi sila lalabas sa plane, sir. Yun ang kondisyon nila. Hindi kami lalabas sa plane pag wala yung warrant. And
So
it was shown
nandun yung
to them.
warrant. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So did you or any of the people who were serving the warrant explain to him the elements of the crime?
Yes, sir. The whole
So
warrant was actually given to them.
So just because it's simple naman, what are the elements of the crime against humanity na may murder? If you explain to him, then you can explain to me, di ba? So what's the elements?
During the time, sir, it was not me who attempted the reading of the rights. It was the prosecutor general.
Yes, sir. But sabi mo, you know the elements of the
I read to him in toto what was written
Yes.
on the warrant, sir.
I read the warrant. Wala dun yung elements of the crime.
We did not say that I know the elements, sir. I just
Yes.
read to him exactly
So-
the charges in accordance with what is written in the
Yes, sir.
warrant.
I'm not arguing on the opinion and the legal kasi ito factual pa lang. But my point is, when you arrest a Filipino citizen for theft, for inciting to sedition, etc., meron po tayong legal maxim that ignorance of the law is not an excuse thereof. So, we are, as Filipino citizens, dapat alam natin yung law, di ba? So, pag inarrest mo yung isang tao, ano yan, bagransya? Sandali lang, sir. Na-repeal na yung bagransya, hindi na ano yan. But I'm arresting you for what? For theft. You don't need to read the elements because alam na ng Pilipino yung nature and yung cause nung theft. But since this is a foreign court, and it's not even in the Rome Statute, yung elements. It was passed later on. So ang point ko, was the accused, in this case former president, aware of what he was being accused of? So I'll stop there, sir. Factual lang naman, and I take your answer that it was the warrant was there, it was read to him, and there are different... I won't go to them now. I'm just making the point that even if you serve the warrant, kung hindi niya alam at hindi alam ng lawyer niya, how do you expect him to run to court to get legal remedy? So, going back, Attorney Alexis, sir, so is the ability to seek legal remedy part of due process? Meaning, if you deny me, if you're accusing me of something, my warrant of arrest, and you don't allow me to go to Philippine courts, is that denying you due process?
Absolutely, Your Honor. Without casting any aspersion on the character or competence of the officials involved.
Yeah, I'm asking
In
a
the-
general question. I think
the question
SOJ
that
naman is
posed, yes.
listening, and they will answer. So going back to surrender. So if my foreign court ngayon, I look, I have it somewhere here, pasensya na kayo magulo. Senator Trillanes was saying in May 2024 na 3 batches of warrants to. First daw is si PRD, after that daw Senator Bato, Senator Bongo, etc. And then sa third batch, military and police officials. So I agree with Senator Bongo na wala na tayong magagawa in the sense na nandyan na si PRD. But I disagree na hindi importante itong hearing kasi kung may second, third, fourth batch pa yung warrants, it's important. And take note tama po ba ako, during the time that the Marawi uprising or the Marawi siege, Secretary Anyo, we were still under ICC noon, no? Kasi that was, tama po, di ba? When we were in Russia. So you know, if a terrorist who survived goes to the ICC and shows them pictures of 19 women or children that were died and comes up with a witness and tells them, alam nyo, from President Duterte to Sec Anyo to the Chief of Staff to ganito, they planned this, they killed this ganito. It may be not true, it may be totally false. So if the ICC issues a warrant here, I want to make sure that every officer of the AFP has his day in court before they're sent to Hague. So valid itong hearing na to. As I said, may emotions lang and you know, let's excuse all of ourselves kung minsan may konting emotion, but we just want to clarify this. So yun yung context ng tanong ko, Tony Alexis, no? So kung halimbawa may warrant for whatever for Juan de la Cruz, kinuha siya based on that warrant, pero hindi siya binigyan ng enough time or enough opportunity before a Philippine judge, aren't we denying him due process?